All right, it's live. All right, hello to everyone who is joining us today. Thank y'all so much for being here for our virtual college exploration for all North and South Carolina students. This is part of our transfer week. So thank y'all so much for being here. We do have a number of sessions throughout these next few weeks that I definitely encourage y'all to explore. But for today, we do have a really great session set up for y'all. And before I do turn it over to our panelists, I do have some short announcements for all of y'all. So just for today's session, as a reminder, this is in webinar form. So while you are able to see the panelists are unfortunately not able to see you. So if you have any questions throughout this session, make sure to use that Q&A feature that's located at the bottom of your screen, just to make sure that our panelists are able to answer any and all questions that y'all may have. These will be visible to all of our presenters. And also, as I mentioned, your camera and microphone are off. So using that Q&A will be the only way that our panelists are able to know any questions that y'all may have. And then as a reminder to sign up for more sessions, we have a full calendar of events for all of y'all, and that can be located at CACRAO.org. So what y'all see here on the screen, that is CACRAO.org. And also a recording of this session will be available. So all of the sessions will be available on demand for you to go back and just review them or go visit a session that you may not have been able to attend live. And these will also be available at CACRAO.org. So at this time, I'm actually going to turn it over to our panelists because they have a really great session set up for y'all.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. Okay, thank you all for joining us today for this presentation on bridging the gap between community college and four-year institutions. It's our goal to help transfer students successfully and seamlessly transfer from a community college to a four-year. So you'll be hearing from several colleges today on our thoughts and opinions based on our own individual experiences of working in higher education and helping transfer students like you. We will talk in depth about our individual colleges at the beginning of each section. For now, we'll just briefly introduce ourselves and the name of our college that we're coming from. My name is Heather Hill. I'm from Western Carolina University.
Hello, my name is Joseph Muse. I'm with the University of South Carolina, Palmetto College.
Hi, my name is Tanita Filia Rogers, and I'm with Western Governors University, North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Sabrina McIntyre, and I'm with Charleston Southern University.
And my name is Casey Whitmire, and I am with Brevard College.
And as far as our table of contents, this will be the order in which we will be going, just so you can follow along and know which college you are hearing from. So during this presentation, you'll learn about various programs and opportunities in order to bridge the gap to ensure that seamless transition from a community college to a four-year institution. It will include information on academic, social, and extracurricular activities to bridge that gap. So I'm going to go ahead and jump us off. This is our institutional profile for Western Carolina University. So we are nestled in the beautiful mountains of Western North Carolina on a 600-acre campus. We're a transfer-friendly institution, and we offer over 120 different majors and minors, as well as robust award-winning online programs. Some of our main campus programs include business, which have been ranked top amongst Princeton reviews, nursing, educations, criminal justice, engineering, psychology, and a lot more. Our distance programs range from business to emergency and disaster management, RN to BSN, and many more. We're proud to be an NC Promise school Being an NC Promise school allows us to offer affordable education opportunities without compromising an excellent education. So we are still accepting transfer applications for the spring of the 2021 term through November 1, and we are also accepting applications for summer and fall as well. We will waive our application fee for those who qualify for a federal Pell Grant at their current institution. And you can see our annual cost that reflects our NC Promise information here. And you can go to visit.wcu.edu for virtual visiting opportunities as well as in-person visiting opportunities, such as our open house event. So the first step in bridging the gap between community college and four-year institutions is choosing your transfer destination. This is a lot easier said than done because essentially you're choosing your home for the next several years. You should first begin with researching institutions of interest online, as well as asking your friends and family members if they have any recommendations for you because they know you the best. Next, take a campus tour. I cannot tell you how many students have arrived to Western's campus for their tour and immediately said, "This is the place for me," as soon as they step foot into our little slice of heaven, as we call it. Feeling the friendly atmosphere, breathing the fresh mountain air, and soaking in all of the amazing views just does it for some people. Whether that's your style or big city lights are your style, just being in that environment can tremendously help you make that decision. Open house is also a great opportunity for you to experience campus as well. Open house typically gives you a full experience of how campus is on a typical daily basis. Lastly, choose your top few and begin making comparisons. A few key pointers to compare are bottom dollar prices, student to faculty ratio, classroom ratio, program of your choice, of course, and location are all important factors. So a key part of this seamless transition process begins in the Office of Admission at your transfer destination. Now, you may think that you don't need to speak to the admission department until you're ready to actually apply, but many students are caught off guard because they haven't been proactive in learning about particular admission requirements. You might need a specific number of courses, specific courses, or even a specific GPA to gain admission to the university or institution that you're interested in. Keep in mind that many colleges have different requirements from one another. So if you're considering multiple colleges, you will want to be sure to check with each one. When you're speaking with your admission counselor about the admission requirements, you can also ask about the early programs that they may offer. So what are early programs, you may ask? Some of our early programs consist of Cat Camp, Catamount Gap, and other fun opportunities. So meeting new people and getting to know them can be challenging and intimidating at first, especially when you are coming in as a transfer student. Get a head start on your college career by attending an early program. These programs will provide students opportunities to learn about getting involved on campus while getting to know their peers and also developing leadership skills and capabilities. So you'll see here that our first listing is Cat Camp, and that's a Western specific opportunity that consists of a long weekend retreat where students go to a facility and do various leadership and fun activities to get to know each other and help build strong bonds before school even begins. Have you ever been worried that you can't find your way around campus on the first day of school and worried about all of the initial hustle and bustle, and that makes you nervous? Catamount Gap offers a condensed 5-week summer session for students, and other institutions and schools will have similar programs to these. So our Catamount Gap classes are even smaller than typical class size, and that allows students to develop very close-knit relationships, not only with peers, but also with faculty and staff at WCU. And lastly, many schools offer a program such as whitewater rafting trip, a camping trip, a hiking trip, or something similar in their area. That's something fun you can do to get together with other students and get to know students on a smaller level instead of just kind of going out into the main campus with all of your schoolmates and classes for the first day. So in order to bridge the gap, in my opinion, just get out there, ask questions, and explore. By doing this, you are working step by step to bridge that gap. The last piece that I have to add for you today is simply just to show up and get involved once you become enrolled at your institution. I cannot tell you how important this is. Statistics show that those students who are involved in activities have a higher graduation rate than those who don't. Some tips on how to get involved. Most schools will have a kickoff festival at the beginning of their semester. Western's is called Valley Ballyhoo, and it features all of the 150 student clubs and organizations that we have on campus. They're at tables, they have sign-up sheets, they have information to hand to you, and there are lots of free giveaways for you too. Those clubs and organizations are key to getting to know people on a smaller scale. It's a lot easier to get to know people when you're not full of a classroom of 25 or more students. Of course, simply getting a job on campus can help you get involved in what's going on around campus. Study abroad is an excellent opportunity for you, as well as participating in athletic teams if you can. Thank you, and now I will pass it over to our next presenter.
All right, thank you, Heather. And again, hello to everyone. It's great to be with you today. Again, I'm Joseph Muse. I'm with the University of South Carolina, Palmetto College. And before I hop into a couple facets related to bridging the gap from community college into a four-year program, I want to give just a little context on Palmetto College and kind of how we fit into the University of South Carolina system. We are an entity that represents the online degree completion programs across the University of South Carolina's senior campuses and flagship campus in Columbia. So as you can see on the left, the degree completion pathways are listed there. We have 19 different programs currently that range across our main Columbia campus, as well as our comprehensive campuses in Aiken, Beaufort, and Upstate. So for example, if you were to pursue a degree in organizational leadership, your degree would be conferred by the University of South Carolina, Columbia. Whereas if you were to pursue a degree in, say, communication, your degree would be conferred through the University of South Carolina, Aiken. What University of South Carolina Palmetto College does is serves as an umbrella to provide that infrastructure and those pathways and provide access to the university for those who may be interested in completing a bachelor's degree without the on-campus components and in a virtual format. Most of our degree programs are very flexible in terms of admission start dates and timelines, as well as criteria in comparison to some of the more traditional programs. We also do have some certain requirements related to credit hours. And with that, we offer a pre-evaluation for all students who are interested, so you can get a sense of which programs are most accommodating based on your previous experience, whether you have an associate's degree or not. So that way you make the most of your decisions as far as which program to pursue. We have our contact information listed here. So if you are interested in finding out more about one of these 19 programs, you can reach out to us by email or by phone, or just hop on our website. You can also tap into one of our virtual webinars throughout the week. We'd be glad to connect with you and talk more about your interests and where these programs might fit. All right, next slide, please. Looks like you may have to back up one slide. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is connecting your degree and career goals. And just in summary, I'm going to talk about 3 avenues to consider. And some of these you may be familiar with, some of these may be new to you. But when you're thinking about which pathway is best for you in completing that bachelor's degree, there are some different avenues that you can use to your advantage. One of those, and this is just an example that's on the screen right now, is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So when you're thinking about the degree that you're interested in and you want to find out, what is out there in terms of different paths with your career, This is a great resource to find out which occupations are in demand right now, which are trending, which have the most positive outlook. And as you look at some of those growing fields and those growing jobs that you might consider of interest, it also has some great information about what you need to do to grow into that role and get on that path, including information about the bachelor's degree that would be required or the certain types of courses that you want to make sure that you take. There are some other ways that you can also connect your degree and your career goals. One thing that I always recommend to students is to look at some of the jobs or organizations that you might be interested in and read the requirements for those positions just to get a sense of what the requirements are. They may be looking for a certain degree or a certain area of study, and that's important to know, especially if you've got a really focused career trajectory that you're kind of working toward. Another way is to find out, who might be working in those organizations that maybe you can connect with and network with to find out more about those positions and what it is that would be required for you to kind of move in that direction. So those are just 3 quick channels that you can tap into fairly quickly that can help you connect your degree plans with your career goals. Next slide, please. All right. And then lastly, before I turn it over, I want to quickly just talk about your elective credits and making the most of those. So for some of you, you may be closing in on the latter part of your associate's degree. For some of you, you may be just starting your journey. In either case, you know that there are lots of opportunities to maximize your elective credits. So when you think about a typical associate's degree, this is just a general example, but usually you've got 20 or more credit hours sort of at your disposal, which are tagged as electives in most cases. And when you think about the transition from community college or an associate's degree into a 4-year program, and you think about the Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science degree, there are typically some restrictions when it comes to those 4-year degree programs, especially as it relates to electives. So as much as you can, think ahead and look at some of those degree paths that you're considering at the 4-year level and look at what those course requirements are and some of those prerequisites. And if you can, do your best to align those elective credits so that you can maximize the potential of your associate's degree and help create a seamless transition into your 4-year program when it comes time to graduate and move into that bachelor's degree. All right, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanita Filia-Rogers, and I am a Strategic Partnership Manager at Western Governors University. So I'm going to start off with just giving you a quick overview of our university. We are 100% online, which means you can access, of course, your courses 24/7, and we're asynchronous. So which means you do not have to meet a professor at a certain time. You can do it, get online and start your classes anytime. If it's at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can do your work. We are accredited and nonprofit. We are competency-based, which means you can learn at your own pace. We are affordable. Our prices range there, $6,500 to $7,500 per year. We have a flat rate tuition and $145 resource fee. And so the books and learning materials are included in that. And so for that flat fee, you pay for 6 months at one time. So you can look at it as an all you can eat, all you can eat type of situation. So if you're able, you pay for time and not credit hour. So if you can take as many courses in that 6 months as you possibly can for that same rate. We do offer scholarships. We have a community college scholarship for our partners, as well as we have Phi Theta Kappa scholarship, as well as program scholarships that are in the different programs that we have, which are business and healthcare, IT, and teaching. So we do offer those different types of scholarships. We offer transfer pathways that we've created with some of our community college partners. You can see here that we have the AA, AS, and the technical degree, AAS. We have pathways in all of those degrees in those 4 colleges that I just listed there. Also, we offer comprehensive support, which is that is needed to have that transition from a community college to a university. So of course you can have 24-hour technical support. We have peer support. We have math and writing labs. We also offer counseling services. And of course, with all the issues due with COVID and just stress and life, we do offer counseling sessions for our students, as well as once you become an alumni, we do offer support with that as well as career services. My contact information is the top there at top with my telephone number, and feel free to reach out to me. Next slide, please. And so there are common themes that you will hear throughout our presentation today. And so, uh, one thing you will hear is do your research. Do your research, okay? So right now you're in community college, and so what are your career goals? You know, and then what does it take to get you there? So if you wanted to become an accountant, what does it take to get there? Do you need a certificate? Do you need a bachelor's degree? Do you need a master's degree? Do you need a PhD or JD? So you really need to figure out, okay, what are my career goals and what kind of educational path do I need to take? And then once you figure that out, you try to understand what school fits your needs, fits you and your needs. Are you a small school person or a large school person? I know when you first get out of high school, I know for me, I wanted to go to the big schools, you know, the ones you see on television all the time. And, you know, I want to go to the huge university, but that may not be who you are. You may need a smaller class. You may need a specialty type of education. You may want a single sex college. So here are all your options. You choose from being a public or a private institution, or you may have want to go to a college versus a university. Of course, you know the community college experience. You have liberal art colleges as well as research institutions, art colleges, which is, you know, focused in arts and drama, dance, and things like that. You have religious colleges. You have that single sex, like I said, all girls, all boys schools, specialized um, colleges, HBCUs, historically Black colleges, and historically Black colleges and Hispanic serving institutions are those specialized colleges, as well as online versus brick and mortar. So are you an online learner versus mortar? So you have to kind of figure out what your needs are. Where do you fit? What kind of school would you like to attend? Well, I pay for this education. With all these schools, what you would first do is complete the FAFSA. And with the FAFSA, it just kind of gives an understanding of what you are eligible to receive from the federal government. Are you eligible to receive grants, loans, or scholarships? So you really want to fill out that FAFSA and see what you are eligible for. And then you have other scholarships, external scholarships, which means you may have, you know, churches have scholarships, organizations, sororities, fraternities have scholarships, all types of scholarships that's outside of FAFSA that you want to look at, as well as the internal um, scholarships that may be offered within the college and university. Then you have grants, loans, and while you're in school, you may have to do work study. That's also an option, as well as you may have to work, just get you a job and help support you. So you need to do this type of planning. So this is before you make that decision and figure out which one fits your needs the most. Okay, next slide, please. Ask questions. So here we go. Here again, do your research. So early contact with the transfer destination or where you want to go. So find out if that school has an information session, and I think we've already talked about this. Information sessions that you can attend to learn more about the school. How about going to a campus tour? Right now in this age of COVID, you know, we have virtual tours. Are they able to do a virtual tour? Are you able to talk to professors to kind of get an understanding about the program? Talk to students. In those information sessions, a lot of times they may have students to give a panel, a student panel. Listen to them, see what strategies could be used, or what strategies and issues or something that students may have on that campus. So talk to students, find out about their experience. Ask about their graduation rate. You know, look at that when you're doing your research. Find out if students are graduating, and if so, how long is it taking them to graduate? So do your homework. Visit the Career Services Center or department. How are they, once the student graduates, are they assisting students finding their careers, their next steps? So visit their department, ask questions. Ask about the support services. We talked about the type of support that schools may offer or what you may need. If you have a special need, make sure that that school supports that. Also, find out about campus life and organizations. For Western Governors, of course, we're online, so we do not have these type of campus life, and but we do have organizations. But find out, again, that is finding out the type of school that is best for you. Also, military friendly. Are you in the military? Find out that school supports military efforts, and how do they have a military organization or anything like that. So find out, ask questions, do your research, because your goal is to graduate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sabrina McIntyre, and I am the Senior Transfer Counselor at CSU, or Charleston Southern. And before I present my topic for transitioning into a four-year from a community college, I want to give you a brief overview of CSU. So we're located right in the heart of Charleston, South Carolina. We're maybe 20 minutes from the closest beach, but then we're also 20 minutes away from the shopping and downtown. So it's a really great place to be. In terms of being on campus, we are a small private liberal arts Christian college. So we do help students integrate their faith while they're learning. And one of the things that we like to tell our students is that their purpose is our mission. And what that would look like for us really is just helping us hone in on what a student is wanting to accomplish. And we really help give them the support that they'll need in order to accomplish that once they get to CSU. So in terms of admission requirements for us, we have them listed right on the screen here. We need a minimum of a 2.0 GPA, 24 credits in a college-level math and English. And we are able to use unofficial transcripts whenever you're coming and wanting to transition to CSU. And we really just kind of help put together what your future will look like even before you get to campus. And something that we do always like to mention as well is transfer students rarely miss out on campus life, because even if you want to be a commuter versus a resident student, because we do not require all of our students to live on campus, especially if they're over the age of 20. We are an NCAA Division I school, so the sports life is very large at our campus as well. So there's so many ways that students can get involved, whether sports is your thing, clubs and student activities, plenty of opportunity for students to be employed as well. So we have a bit of everything for you at CSU. Next slide, please. All right, so what I'm going to be talking about is what to expect when you're transitioning to a four-year. So the two big parts when it comes to transitioning are the BC, the before college, and the after the semester starts. So before college, you want to be sure, especially if you've gone to more than one school before you really find your home at a four-year, be sure to get transcripts in. We want to make sure that we have all of the transcripts that you are going to give us. That way we can give you the maximum amount of credits that you've already completed, because you've done a lot of hard work to get to where you're going. So please be sure to always have your transcripts, and your admissions counselor, your enrollment counselor will always send gentle reminders to help you get all the materials that you're going to need. Now, you can also kind of expect when you're really in that process of figuring out, is this feasible for me in terms of financial aid? Ask questions. Please be sure to ask your enrollment counselor questions if there are opportunities for external scholarships, institutional-based scholarships, anything else that can be added to state or federal funding. There is opportunity there to get the aid that you're needing. So we really want to be sure that we're doing as much background work, especially work in tandem with your admissions counselor, so that we can give you the best opportunity to have as little stress as possible for your college transition. And then the other important part after the semester starts, something that each of my colleagues here have really pointed out is campus life and campus activities. Getting involved really does ease that transition, especially since you're coming to a new space. If this is your dream school or an unexpected gem that you found, we really want to be sure that you're enjoying the time that you have left at your four-year university. So getting plugged in, going to campus community events, even academically, talking with professors, leaving space to ask the questions that you feel like you may not have gotten the chance to before. All of those things are really important, not only logistically, so we can make sure you're covered with your financial aid and your credits, but then also socially, making sure that you found your family in this new four-year institution that you're going to. And all along the way, making sure that you're keeping up with your advisors and even your admissions counselors to know that they're there to help you and to aid you and be your biggest advocate is really important, so you can feel like you're having a really quality time transitioning.
All right, guys. Once again, my name is Casey Whitmire, and I'm from Brevard College. So I'll speak to you a little bit about our transfer process and how that goes. Go to the next slide, please. So a little bit about Brevard College. Similar to Western Carolina, we're also located in the western portion of North Carolina, in the mountains of the state. We are a Division III school for NCAA athletics, so a little bit difference there. That does provide a good opportunity for some students who are looking to kind of balance athletics and schoolwork. It kind of provides an opportunity and environment to do that with a little bit less stress. One of the things that we have that it makes us a little bit interesting to ourselves is we have over 250 waterfalls located near campus. Our average class size is around 15 students. The faculty to student ratio is around 1 to 11. We are the #1 school for undergraduate teaching, according to U.S. News and World Reports in the Southeast. And we do have transfer scholarships available, I think, as some of these other schools have also mentioned. I believe, just as some of the other schools, we have a 2.0 GPA requirement for transfer students. Go on to the next slide, please. And then, a few other just kind of last closing tips and tricks as far as looking at other schools and universities. We've always, all of us have talked about doing your own research. A lot of the things that you'll find, through different websites, I can only tell you so much. So like some of our other panelists have encouraged you to do, I would, always encourage you to visit a campus for yourself. Reading and understanding the transfer of credit policies. So making sure you know that, which of your classes are going to transfer for, say, core or major requirements, and which may be, transferring for minor or elective requirements. Just having a good understanding of that, so you know ahead of time, what it is that you're going to be getting yourself into. Use your voice. The best way I could say to do that is, like a lot of other panelists have said, stepping out on campus, getting involved, really kind of stepping out of your comfort zone to make an impression on your surroundings. Seek out resources. Almost all universities have, information areas where, there are people there that have the resources for you, whether it be, things on campus or campus life, or things for, residence halls if you're living in those. Those student services are always available. We at Brevard College have some transfer specific scholarships, and I'm sure a lot of these other universities are going to as well. But also outside of universities, looking at, outside scholarships that are specifically, in the transfer realm. Those are some of the things that will really help you a lot. One of the most important things I would say is, understanding those fee structures and your costs, knowing, what money you're going to get for one thing this year, excuse me, the next year, and how your FAFSA is going to look out, and really knowing all those things ahead of time and kind of having a good understanding of that really help you kind of ease a little bit of stress throughout the process. Like I said, my name is Casey Whitmire. My contact information is down there. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out.
So in conclusion, if you've heard anything that we've all said today, it's get involved, just show up, do your research, choose your pathway, get in contact early. And we're gonna save about 10 minutes for questions. So if you will give me just a second, I'm gonna pull up our questions. Okay, so we do have one question. If you guys have other questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. We're happy to chat with you about bridging the gap. But the one question that we have is, does the USC online program in engineering technology management accept a 2+2 using the AAS in electrical systems technology from the North Carolina Community College system?
All right, yeah, that's a great question. The ETM program is through our upstate campus, so it is through the University of South Carolina Upstate, and it is an ABET accredited program. There are some certain requirements that we will look for. I don't believe there's a formal articulation agreement with that specific degree, but what we can do is, if you would like to send us your unofficial transcript, we can do a pre-evaluation and give you a sense of what that transfer process would look like. We also have a large transfer equivalency database that we will use to kind of look course by course at what options you have. And if you are still working maybe in year 2 of your program, we can also give you some guidance on what classes would work best for that transfer. So please feel free to reach out to us. I know this recording and these slides will be available to you after the fact, but you can reach out to us at palmettocollege.sc.edu and connect with us. We'll be glad to do a pre-evaluation and talk with you more about that transfer process. Thanks for that question.
Okay, and it doesn't look like we have any further questions today, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to our CACRAO facilitator. Thank you all.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I hope that our students, I'm confident that our students have learned a lot about that transition from the community college system to a four-year university. So I do have some closing announcements for everyone. I'm just going to share my screen again for those. So thank y'all so much for joining us, to all of our participants as well as our panelists. Thank y'all for your presentation, but thank you all to our participants for being here today and joining us. So when you go ahead and close out this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback that y'all are able to provide. And also, just as a reminder that this is just one of many sessions that are being hosted, so you're able to sign up for any additional ones at CACRAO.org. That is CACRAO.org. And finally, you'll be able to find the session's recording in about a week, and this is also found at CACRAO.org. So thank y'all so much, and I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.